Here we go. Another day here on the Sitting Pelican. Mess. Yes. Let's not get distracted there. The share for today, with all your champions, with all your superstars, this one's for everyone, is bridging the gap. So here I am on the boat, just looking out on the water. I've got a kayak to the other boat, so I'm having some coffee to fuel that up. Some things going on a personal level. Not sure if it's good to share that out, but I will say it's good. There's some goodness happening. And I would like to share with you, talk with you, express an idea, bridging the gap from the want to the have, okay? You may alright, the brush can go down there for the second. You may have heard me talk a lot about Neville Goddard, and then there's things like laws of attraction and manifestation, laws of vibration, laws of reciprocity, and all these types of wonderful things. So if you're into that, there's a good chance that's why you have landed on this channel. And bridging the gap has caught your curiosity between the want and the have. Excuse me while I preen myself in front of you. Many a times you've potentially put yourself in a train of thought of, oh, I've always wanted to have, if only I had this, or I really want this. And sometimes the want and the have are not paired together. It's either I wish I had this, or I wish I have that, or I really want this, or if, right, want to have. The thing is, we're told you shouldn't have wants. Some of the thought leaders, stop wanting. In regards to the law of assumption with Neville Goddard, it's putting the self in the having. It's putting the self in the idea imagined, or living in the end, or the wish fulfilled, okay? But be careful with the word wish, because it can cast a spell on you in regards to you dismissing your ability to get, to bring into, to create, to manifest, okay? Like to wish is to keep yourself distant from your own capacity and abilities to bring forward, to bring into, to create, to manifest, right? So let's say, oh, I want to have a better relationship, or I want to have a better body, or I want to have more income. I'm just throwing out generic things, right? But you could have, like, I want to experience living on a boat, or, I want to buy a block of land, or I want to learn to be self-sufficient. These type of things. So to bridge the gap between that is what I'd call actionable momentum. So the want and the have are the stimulated thoughts, right? They are in this realm of the consciousness, or in the realm of the imagination, okay? They are of a thought. Bridging the gap between a want and a have is where the actionable momentum comes in, where it is that I need to do something from a physical. I need to do something physically that is in congruence with the want to the have, to bridge the gap, to make it a having, to be in the experience of. I've gone from wanting to have the experience to now I'm having the experience, and a very crucial element that's very cohesive and congruent with this is the practice of gratitude. You'd call that the cherry. You can call that the cherry on top, and being aware of, wow, I have this now. What, boy, oh boy, am I grateful for it. And a third element to this is the awareness to maintain and sustain the having. Yeah, the observation. So awareness, observation, tying together. So bridging the gap between the want and the have. It it is simple. There are actually a lot of things that are merely a perception or are perceived on being not simple. But if you just lay it out as it is, you go, there's nothing really difficult going on here. The only thing difficult is my interpretation of things and allowing a negative to take charge and make executive decisions on my behalf. So hang on. The only reason that anything of that nature can make an executive decision on my behalf is because I'm creating that, or I have created that. So if I've created it, I can control it, can I not? Or I can eliminate it. When I began, when I have begun to lean in this realization more and more and more, actually, the more somewhat control and somewhat mastery I am having over myself. And it puts you in this state of, you could call it at ease, you could call it peace, being a lot calmer and being able to just accept certain adversities, and then that's just how it is. It can be going to grab a rose from a rose bush without gloves on the hand. There is a good chance one will get pricked by a thorn. But that's the actionable momentum, right? That's bridging the gap. There's paying the attention that's part of the adversity, and it's fortunate that there's gloves out there that I can minimize the suffering, per se, to reach the treasure, to reach the goal, to be in the position of giving gratitude for now having the experience. Does that make sense? So wherever you are in yourself right now, and there's a reality, you may need to make the observation that before you can have that having, there's a having that you need to want before having a want to have. Example, or use myself as an example. Me wanting to have a relationship again. So before that, I needed to realize that I need to put myself in the wanting to have a better mentality, to have a better mindset, to have a better understanding of what is required of me in regards to character development, to then put myself in a worthy position to then want to have a relationship. Does that make sense? Because there's a missing piece in a lot of our wants and wanting to have something. There's another gap. So we're here in this gap. Let's say there. Let's do A to B. So there's A to B, and then there's B to C. So we're here in A, or come back to me. I was sitting in A, resonating, maybe idle, just stagnant in A, constantly in the want of B to C. Not paying any attention that I actually had to bridge the gap and be in the position of B to then bridge the gap to C. Is that hitting home at all? The moment I started, things have actually started to, like a domino effect or the butterfly or the ripple effect. Once you get to B, you're obviously closer to C than you are if you stay in A. And that's the part where if we're in A, we're trying to get to C without bridging the gap to B. We reinforce, I knew it was going to be hard, or I knew it was going to be like this. It's too difficult. What's the point? Then there's these reaffirmations of the non-beneficial mentality, that part that we create that then regurgitates a whole bunch of hoo-ha back to us that is of no service in bridging the gap. It nullifies the actionable momentum. Something like messaging someone. You see someone's profile, and it could be simple. I was scrolling, came across your profile. You seem appealing, and I'm curious to know more about you. By the way, what you did in your post got my attention. I really resonate with that. Right, just something simple, being truthful, authentic, being in a bridging the gap, actionable momentum. And then putting out those practices, reaching in for the rose. Right. Purchasing the gloves, A to C. A to B is getting the gloves, and then B to C is with the gloves on the hand getting the rose. Something simple along that. Simple analogy. But that's come to my attention because there's certain unfoldings that have occurred in my reality because I've paired congruent actions with the idea. And it works with everything. It works with everything. It works with your own self-development. Putting things into perspective, making things a priority. That's another part of bridging the gap. That's another part of the actionable momentum. Is making A to B the priority before the B to the C. So if I'm here, like I said, we'll go back. I'm here in A with my want, or a wish, or my wish that I had C. That's all fine and dandy. But what's in between that? Like, what's the gap that needs bridging? I need to get myself from A to B, right? Because the B, being in the state of B, gives me the higher potential to get to the state of C, or the realm of C, where the want is, and where actually the realm of me now being in the experience of the having exists. It exists there. So, in summary and in closing, it's fine and dandy to lay there in the day, in the night, in the morning, and to be in that state of pondering, and to be in the state of the having. That's definitely part of reality creation, or manifestation, or what I call dancing in the belief of the potential being so. That's a cool way to put it, right? So they're trying to visualize. That is a real skill, and that is also, once again, this is another gap. Oh, I want to have better visualization skills. Okay, so here's a great example. Now, I don't necessarily want that, but maybe you do. You want to have the ability to visualize better. That in itself is actually a skill. So before you get to that, part of is having the ability to actually just put yourself into a meditative state and not trying to visualize necessarily, but allowing yourself to to clear the mind for your imagination, and just allowing the imagination to go, and then slowly injecting suggestions from yourself into the imagination, saying, here you go, imagination, here's an idea, work your magic. And then eventually you'll bridge the gap, right? Actionable momentum. You will bridge the gap where you will be able to take an idea, and even with it be in a state. And I think it's possible that we take the word visualization potentially too literally, because we think of vision, we think of, oh, we've got to be able to see this, where it's in the feeling. That's where Neville Goddard comes into play. The feeling, because it's the feeling that elicits the idea on a higher level within yourself and within your imagination, because you're taking yourself into a sensory perspective. And so the visualization is actually a very minute part, and it's not actually the full recipe, or it's only a single component of the full ingredient list, let's put it that way. So there's a lot of stuff out there that you're only getting like the tip of the iceberg, and you may be someone who's like, oh, I always struggle with that. I struggle. Okay, if that's the case, come in from this angle, or what's the gap I need to bridge to eliminate that struggle? And is it really a struggle, or are you jumping ahead in the process and ignoring, oh, hang on, I've got to go from A to B first? That makes sense, because that's the sequence of events. So bridging the gap, want to the have, give it a go. You come across this video, it resonated with you, you got some value, obviously, you got some ideas, leave a like, and then by all means, as you may come across other videos, putting this into play, actionable momentum, come back and leave a comment. Hey, I did this, and wow, this was really simple, this was really helpful, this is really effective. Anyone watching this video, I recommend you put it into play. So on that note, coffee time. Be good, be great, be brilliant, be the best that you can. I say that not to be all like Tony Robbins about it, but simply because from my own doings, that being the best that you can is the best thing that you can do for you. And on the other side of that, good things start to happen. Good things start to happen. Like I said, dance in the belief of the potential being so. That, you could call that a hack to visualization. This is a simple hack to increasing your skill in visualization. is you dance in the belief of the potential being so, bridging the gap from the want to the have. You don't have to force anything right now, because if you're already having a sense of something you would like to have, there's already a belief in you that that is possible. You're only denying it because, once again, you're coming from that perspective that you've created within yourself, that you're not worthy, that you don't have the skill set, so on and so forth. I believe it was Dr. Dwayne Dwyer, and I'm coming in for a landing. He said, our dreams and our ideas, they are our gifts. And when we have them, because within us we have the potential to make it so. You into this content, you already know there's social narratives out there that are doing their darndest to cast the spell, right? One, to create the separation within the cohesion of the self and the laws of nature and the laws of the universe, and then even between you and I. So give that a go. Dance in the belief of the potential being so. And practice that, and pay attention to where you are now. What is the sequence of events, and bridge those gaps. I think they're called like micro goals or something fancy like that. You are an A, and you might even, be quite ambitious, and you're like, oh, I'm over there in E or G. Okay, well, there's G. Come back and bridge the gap. And celebrate along the way, and thank yourself. Thank yourself. I said that last night, okay? I said that last night. So, sneak peek into my world. I've made a connection, right? And in the closing of the conversation, I thank them for them leading themselves into the place where they are in the world, right? For me to make that connection. And I said I also want to thank myself as well for contributing to that happening. That's so important. We don't give thanks a lot to ourselves. I'm doubling up on the outro. Be good, be great, be brilliant, be the best that you can. Do what you can with what you have to lead you to the places and experiences that you'd rather be.